we had to have the conversation.
So we got to,
because my daughter was starting to get bullied a little bit, like in kindergarten, first grade or whatever, and we had to start teaching her to stand up for herself.
Right.
And I was like, we sat her down and we said, hey, look, if somebody did what they did to you, to your dad, what do you think dad would do? Hey, everybody, I'm Eric Oberembt, and you're listening to Be Authentic or Get the Fuck Out. We talk about real shit, what's on our minds, and don't give a fuck if it makes you feel a little uncomfortable. So sit back, strap in, and get ready for some real shit. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Be Authentic or Get the Fuck Out. I'm your host, Eric Oberembt. Thanks for coming back for another episode. We are filming here at Win the Storm 2024. And this episode now, these are one of my favorite type of episodes. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to introduce a guest, and we've never fucking hung out. We've never spoke, really. We've never, gotten to know each other. And that is one of the reasons that I actually started this podcast, was to get an opportunity to meet people that I haven't met before. And instead of just walking by them, shaking their hand and being like, hey, man, nice to meet you. Hopefully we catch up some other time. I corner them into a 30 to 40-minute episode to be able to talk and actually get to know each other, hear their story, and hopefully somebody will get something from it. So, with no further ado, I'm going to introduce my guest today, Raymond Little. Raymond, thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you, Brad.
Are you Raymond, Ray? What do we go by?
Raymond.
Okay, Raymond.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, awesome. So, to be completely fair, we've never really met.
Ever.
Right?
Ever.
I had no fucking idea who you were. You probably had no idea who the fuck I was.
Nope.
And then we got thrown on a group chat.
Yep.
And I was like, well, if he's on the panel that I'm emceeing, we should probably figure out why he should be on the show, too, because there's got to be a reason.
There has to be a reason.
Right? Because we're on a panel later called Overcoming Obstacles, which couldn't be more fucking vague.
Right. Yeah, and let's be totally frank with it. I didn't know you were the MC.
Oh, really?
No, that makes it even better.
That's hilarious. Just thought I was some asshole in the group chat.
I didn't even look at it. I was like, I told my assistant, put it on the schedule and I'll be there.
Well, it's funny because when you responded to it, was just, yes. And I was like, this motherfucker. Is this going to be pulling teeth, having a conversation? I don't know.
It was funny because Evan Carver, he's on one of the panels for the canvassing. He's actually rooming with me. He's like my kid. He's been working with me since I was 17. He's 22 now.
Oh, wow.
He's one of the best knock stars in the United States. But I was like, hey, when you text me, so I was like, hey, you know this? He's like, hell yeah, that dude's cool as hell, bro. You need to do that. That was just last night.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
good. I'm glad somebody knows who I am. That's fantastic.
That was awesome,
so tell everybody who you are and what you do real quick. We don't dig into that long. But
my name is Raymond Little. I'm one of the co-founders of Perimeter Roofing. Went through a private equity deal about 10 months ago. Since then, about 5 acquisitions up under us or with us. And here I am. But I still climb roofs every day. Yeah. Not glorified.
Where's Perimeter based out of?
Atlanta.
Out of Atlanta.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Who'd you roll up with?
Sawmill.
Okay.
Yeah, we're an A. Yeah, so we're an A. So Sawmill bought us.
Okay.
And then we've been rolling companies in with us.
Got it. How do we feel about that?
I love it.
Okay, do you?
Yeah, I love it, dude.
What do you love about it?
I mean, it did make me level up because I worked during the whole what's it called? Due diligence.
Yeah.
So I let my business partner, Todd Price, he handled pretty much the acquisition.
Okay.
I told him, hey, these dudes keep calling us, get on a call with them.
Yeah.
I was on a roof, and I let him kind of take it.
Oh, okay.
So I went through a 14-month due diligence period.
Yeah.
And I was just climbing roofs, keeping the numbers high. I would call him at night, hey, and he'd do like a 5-minute explanation. I was like, cool, all right, I'm going to go back to grinding. So I just worked the whole 14 months, my head down, running my guys, doing what I do on a daily basis until closing, and then so I wasn't a part of it. So we closed. It's cool for about 15 minutes. Look down your phone, see a bunch of money come through, and okay, well, I gotta get back to work.
Back to work.
Back to work. And then so we did our first acquisition. I really wasn't a big part of that, and then I started the integration phase, and that's when it got interesting.
So what's that look like?
I mean, if you buy a company that's it rolls into you, and they have a different CRM, or you get what I'm saying, or a little bit different pay structure. I mean, they got to roll in. We got to be uniform, make it easier to manage.
That's got to not be fun.
Well, that's what nobody's thought about because it's all brand new.
Right.
So I got my Sprinter van, went to Kentucky, went to Tennessee, went to North Carolina, and started talking to people I've never met before. I mean, basically, and telling them about, hey, you got acquired. Obviously, you know that. You've seen it on the Zoom call. But here I am, and I'm going to go change your CRM over from job number.
Yeah. And they just motherfuck you when you come in the door.
It was quite an experience. I stayed in a van for a long time in Airbnbs, for weeks and weeks and weeks. Really got it integrated. Went through another acquisition that was easier. Right.
First one was probably pretty hard.
First one was very hard. Yeah. And then the second one's very easy. Then the third one, same thing. A company I've known and kind of helped along on the side. A friend of mine at Humboldt Roofing, we acquired them. Same thing though, a little bit different. Different CRM, a little bit different processes. And then you're like, I mean, here we are.
Yeah.
And we got to get uniform.
Do the companies lose a lot of people when that transaction happens?
I mean, some people lost at Regal. This wasn't part of our culture, let's be honest. Our culture's my guys are pretty phenomenal. I got over 20 multi-million-dollar producers.
Okay.
We run a pretty tight ship. They're not out here drinking or doing anything like that. I haven't drank in 12 years.
Yep.
All I do is race mountain bikes and climb a lot of roofs and work a lot of hours. So if they didn't fit the culture, they're 1099. They got the right to leave or whatever, or we have the right to not use their services anymore.
Right.
So we exercise those rights.
Right. Way to phrase that. That's great. Yeah.
I mean, this is not a good fit for us, but good for. I hope they kill it. I hope they do 100 million.
Sure.
I mean, it's definitely different. It's having a lot of hard conversations up front, so you don't have catastrophic events 90 days.
Right. So you mentioned that you haven't drank in 12 years?
No, sir.
Okay, so are you sober?
No, I'm Cali clean.
You're Cali clean?
Cali clean.
All right, you motherfucker. All right, yeah. We literally just did a podcast joking about, because we had somebody come to a meeting this morning that brought it up, and we're like, you fucker, you get to cheat.
Yeah, so I got 7 years completely abstinence from everything, narcotics and alcohol. I was on benzodiazepines though, clozapam, for my anxiety. I only do steep and high roofs. If anybody sees me on Facebook, they see I'm on 1312s.
Oh, really?
Till this day.
Really?
1212s. Yeah, I climb. I run from the front. I lead from the front. So I was on those benzodiazepines. And if anybody knows anything about benzodiazepines, when you come off of them, you can seizure. And you'll freak out. And so I came off of in the middle of a storm season.
Oh, shit.
So I started using CBD,
Yeah.
And then, I was comfortable enough in my recovery and in my responsibilities with the world, right, where I felt like at 8 o'clock every night before I went to the gym or before I did any training, I could go ahead and, eat an edible or, or hit a pen or do whatever. And I do that, and then I work out, and then I'm good for 24 hours.
Right.
So I went out to Colorado and did the medical thing and figured it all out, what works for me, and I just brought it back.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I mean,
and the difference is so and I'm clean, sober for 14 years or so.
Congratulations, bro.
And there's obviously people that are around me that are very get pissy and shitty about that kind of stuff. But my whole thing is whenever I have this conversation with people, I'm like, dude, if it fucking works for you, congratulations, right? Your life's better.
Right.
That's fantastic. It just doesn't mean that it's for everyone.
No, don't push it on nobody that's in recovery. No.
Because some people can't fucking handle that, right? 100%. Because I know, for me, that I shouldn't say that I know. I don't know, right?
You know it works for you, though.
I know it. I know it's working now, right? So I don't know if I want to fuck with that.
100%.
Right? I don't know if I want to fuck with that.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Same thing when I went to the acquisition. Like, hey, are you going to come off the roofs? I said, hold on. Why would I do that when we're doing, 9 figures a year?
Right.
It's not broke. Let's don't fix it. Same thing with your recovery. I don't suggest it.
Yeah. But again, but the point is but if it does work for you, let's not shit. I'm always going to give somebody shit about it, as a joke and whatever. But let's not shit on people that have completely changed their lives.
Right.
And just because they're not doing it exactly the fucking way that you are, we don't have to be cocksuckers. About that.
And
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I respect everybody. It's just I abstinence, whatever the word is. I don't go anywhere where people are drinking. And that's me. So I have my own little kick with that.
Say that again now?
If there's an event or something, this is the exception, right?
Yeah.
I don't sit here working. But if somebody invites me to something, that social event where there's drinking, I do not go.
Okay. So were you a real fucking problem?
I'm not with alcohol. But alcohol, I'm a real problem with speed and cocaine.
Yep.
So if I start drinking,
I'll start doing cocaine.
by the end of the night. I will.
100%.
And speed, and then I'm gonna run through a lot of money, bud, having a lot of fun.
Really fast.
And that so it's not. I don't have. If we were on an island, I might have a drink or two a day,
right?
And I'm fine with that. And the alcohol would last me forever. But that alcohol takes off that filter. If I start getting woozy, I'm snorting lines this long.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's just how I'm wired, bud.
Yep.
I'm wired tight anyway. I don't need any. If I do speed, it actually slows me down.
Yeah.
I'm already wired tight anyway.
Well, you said you heard my speech at whatever, and I was
100%.
I'll never forget that night fucking running snakes all night on that glass table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that all was, for me, it was the alcoholism that led to, because like a lot of people in the program, right, however they introduce themselves, right? I'm an alcoholic and an addict and whatever. But it was always the booze. I would never just go do a bunch of cocaine.
No.
But as soon as I drank, like you said, the filter comes off, because people think I don't have a filter now, right? Fuck, you should have known me before.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that just led to every bad decision. That led to jail. That led to fucking, you know what I mean? Like that led to every bad thing.
I'm naturally I don't know. I like to hunt every day, so to speak. Right, I'm wired that way, where I like to compete and hunt every. And that early on in my life, you know, it got me in a lot of trouble, bro.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing 149 months.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. Right. So.
Jesus, I'm trying to do math divided by 12. Yeah. Okay, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. So I did a lot, right? And I don't like to glorify poor behavior, but it was, it's crazy stuff, racketeering, gun charges, stuff like that. You know, bad stuff, real bad stuff.
Yeah.
But basically, I got through, multiple violations and whatever. So 9 years ago, I came home. I paroled out with $43. You know what I mean? And today, I'm worth 8 figures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
More than $43.
More than $43. Yeah. And like I said, I got clean before I came home. I was in a rehab.
Okay.
And they took me out of the rehab when I went to court and sent me back for a violation because I was on bond. So I had to go back, right? I'd already served a 72-month sentence for racketeering. I came home. My kid's mom had a gun in the house. We all know how that works out. Yep. So I got out on bond. She got pregnant. I got my life together, right? And I was in a rehab program, and I had to go serve, 39 more months.
For her gun?
For a gun in her name, yeah. In the house, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
why were the cops in the house?
Because she was screaming at me because I'm an asshole. All right, I'm wilding out in the streets. I still was I wasn't in recovery yet.
But so you were still using that?
Yeah. Okay. I was still using
right.
it. Yeah. She wasn't pregnant.
Yeah.
This was before.
Gotcha.
So we had an argument that day because I'm out running the streets, and basically screaming and yelling. The houses in East Atlanta are like me to you. Mm-hmm. The neighbors call the police. I open the door. Listen to this. I open the door, and I'm obviously heavily tattooed. And I'm always a bigger dude, even when I'm using. So open the door, and I have an SL 550 Mercedes in the driveway. I have a Ducati 1198 in the driveway, and I have a Magnum SRT 8 in the driveway. And this is a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just heavily tattooed, and I open the door, and there's 2 Atlanta PDs. And it just snowballed from that point.
And they're like,
I don't have a shirt on. Yeah, I don't even have a shirt on.
No, of course not.
Yeah, and I'm, she's been yelling. There's no physical thing, but we've been arguing, right?
Yeah.
I've been in the shower, and I'm like, oh, well, hey, just the way you look, you need to come on step. Let's talk out here.
Let's come out here.
Come up. I was on parole for racketeering. Then they ran my name. Oh, you're on parole for racketeering. And then about 20 cops showed up. They went ahead and cuffed me for my safety, their safety, everything, and it snowballed from there. And basically, long story short, they found a firearm in her house, right? Because I was on parole at another address.
Yeah.
But they found it at her house. I had no mail there. I had no keys on my keychains. My car's there. My name went on the lease, but it wasn't worth taking the trial. So
they still got you.
Yeah, well, I went to court. I bonded out and went to court about 2.5 years later. My parole ran out. I bonded out. I went to court about 2 years later. I'd already been in a treatment program. I had a kid on the way, right? So when I found out she's pregnant, I was like, hey, let's get some help. Turned my Porsche in, you know what I mean, and went and got some help. And, she had the kid while I was gone. Obviously, we're not together. We weren't together.
Yeah.
But I went to rehab 11 months. Went to court on 11th month, and the judge. I was telling somebody, the judge said, "I believe you have a drug problem, and you're probably at the right place, but I believe you're a 20% addict, 80% criminal. So here you go. Here's 5 years." So I went down there, did 39 months, paroled out to the same rehab, right, with $43. And just started walking to work, got a job, and got into.
What was that job?
I was doing trusses.
Okay.
Beating the plates on the trusses.
Yeah.
So I'd walk there in the morning or catch a ride. It's 2.5 hour walk. So I I'd walk there and, you know, beat the plates on all day and try to get a ride home or ride the bus home.
Yeah.
And, dude, you know, just living there. And then I saved up, got a bicycle, and then I was renting a basement apartment. So I was riding a bicycle 10 miles to watch boats each day, and I'd get $10 a foot a boat, and then I would ride my bicycle home. So I was doing that for a while, and then I moved from my sister's to my mom's. I started working at this where they put lifts on trucks, and I see one of my friends from back in the day that was in the game with me back in the day. He kept pulling in here with big ass trucks, and he's like roofing. I said, "Hey, dude, I mean, I'm sweeping floors and cleaning toilets, dude."
Right.
He's like, "Bro, be there Monday." So I started off as a canvasser there, making $100 to sign up and $200 approval.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then then we split ways. We didn't know nothing about workers' comp. He had to, you know, do what he had to do. He had to, you know, he went down the roof in Florida, and we went on our way because I had to make a living, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, I went with the other guy, right? And we started perimeter roofing, and I was sales manager, then become a partner.
And that was how many years ago?
8.
Okay.
Yeah. And since then, it's been climbing roofs, running teams, bro, knocking doors, running canvassers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, to this day.
and that's what you love doing. So like when everything kind of transitioned, you're like, I want to keep doing what I love doing, right?
Well, it works. No, I'm scared of heights, but I want to do steep and high.
Stop it.
Swear to God, dude, scared of every Monday, bro. Every Monday, like, shit, dude. And I might pull up to 12, just me, and I got to climb. I mean, I'm scared of being broke, too, though. Yeah, I mean,
right.
I gotta pay.
One of the fears is bigger.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, bro. I mean, I got a 12-year-old. You know what I mean? I had to, you know, when I started roofing, he's obviously 3, but I was saying, or 9. I mean, sorry, 4. But I mean, I can't not pay.
How old are you?
I'm 46.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was this close from being a dirtbag the rest of my life.
Right.
If you're doing the math.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Like super close.
Yeah, I mean, like, hell yeah, dude. I bought a house for $65,000. I saved up my money, and I still live there today, but I obviously have remodeled it, you know.
I hope so.
I keep it simple, though, bro. All I'll do is race mountain bikes and climb roofs, run my team, lead from the front every day.
Yeah.
I'll change a pipe boot, do an ATR, do an adjuster meeting. I sign up roofs and hand them all out all day long. Yeah, nothing. I mean, and then I still, you know, I'll sit in a meeting about a private equity deal, you know, on a Zoom, on a 12-12, on a rope, on my red headphones. They always make fun of my red headphones, and we'll talk about, you know, acquiring a company. So I work in the business and on the business.
On the business.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, why can't I only get my son every other weekend?
Right.
What am I going to do? You know how we're wired.
Yeah.
I need to be after.
And you got to keep going. Like you got to keep not reinventing, but like you got to be consistent.
You got to stay consistent.
Something.
You got to stay current with the industry, or your business will buy.
And that
I've seen 100 owners or salespeople that go and try to own a company, and they come out of the field and they try to recruit guys. Sometimes my guys.
Yeah.
And they try to recruit guys, and they fail because they're not a business owner. They're a sales rep.
Right. There's a big difference.
Big difference. Bro.
Big difference.
I've already ran a successful organization that was highly illegal.
Yeah.
But it was super successful.
Yeah.
I told private equity that I was like, if you're seeing my other business that I got in trouble for, you loved it too.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't legal.
Dude, I've had 80 guests I think on here, right?
Yeah.
And the most successful ones in business that have been on my show were all fucking drug dealers.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I was a drug dealer. They were a drug... Like, I wasn't at that level. Like, I wasn't going to catch racketeering charges. But, like, I sold for a couple of years.
Right.
Like,
Builds character, brother.
I just got super lucky that I didn't get fucking...
So many people.
Yeah.
And what's cool is, because, you know, a lot of these guys that work with me now, right? Nobody works for me. Everybody works with me. They're 1099. But they were with me during the RICO, too, and they've changed their life.
Really?
Yes, they work here, too.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. And I think that's the opportunity that we get to have by having these businesses that we have now, having the past that we have, right?
Right.
So to give you an example, so I was down in Houston a couple days ago. We just moved back. So I'm from Omaha.
Okay.
We moved to Houston. I had no intention of opening another office.
Right.
I got talked into it. So I opened another office.
Oh, cool.
And then my wife wanted to go back to fucking Omaha.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, fuck, okay. So we sold the house. Like, literally, this all happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we sold the house. We fucking moved back to Omaha.
Right.
Then my buddy dies.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that.
So I fly to Nashville to go to his funeral. And then I'm like, okay, well, I got to go to Dallas. I'm like, let's go to Houston, check on the guys.
Oh,
and
wow.
everything.
You're getting after it then. Yeah.
Dude, I'm going, right?
Yeah.
And so I go down to Houston for 2 days to meet up with my team down there. And so long story to get to this. So I'm sitting in the little front lobby area and I'm just bullshitting with everybody. And this guy comes in and I'm like, oh, he's a tweaker. What's he fucking selling, right? Like I could tell right when he walked in, and he had Jesus bread, right? Like he's selling bread for Jesus.
Oh wow!
And which I didn't get it at first, but then he was like, at this recovery house. And I ended up digging into it. I'm like, so are you sober? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, how long? He's like, almost 2 years. 2 years in May. Wow. I'm like, dude, good for you. I'm like, tell me about it. Like, what are you actually at a recovery center? He goes on this whole thing that he's like living in this church, and I end up getting irritated because like basically they fucking like are imprisoning him there, like, and he's working for free, because I was like, can you have a job? And he's like, no, he's doing service, and I'm like, you can't have a fucking job. I'm like how do you get your clothes and your fucking I'm like, how do you get your clothes and your food? And they're like, well, they provide it. And they're like, they provide it. I'm like,
it's a W-2.
I'm like, fuck that. And so I was like, okay. I go, well, when do you get out of this second prison? I go, because you've obviously already done time. You're in prison again, just an FYI. I go, so when do you get released from this? He's like, well, my 2-year commitment is up in May. And I was like, all right, man. And he's like, but I'm unhirable. He goes, because I've got 7 felonies and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, first of all, you ain't unhirable. Because I go, you just walked into the right fucking room. I go, I'm going to buy buy all your fucking bread. I go, how much you got in the fucking truck? And his fucking eyes got real big, and he's like, I got like 15 loaves or whatever. I'm like, bring it all in. I'm like, I'll buy all your fucking bread. I go, everybody in that back room, I go, you know what they're going to do? They're going out tonight knocking doors, and instead of selling roofs, they're going to hand out fucking bread and just give it away to people. There you go. And hopefully get inspections out of it,
bro.
right? And I was like, and then what you're going to do is in May, you're going to come back here because you had the balls to knock on this door to begin with. You're going to come back and fucking knock on this door again, and I'm going to give you a job, and you're going to go sell fucking roofs. You're going to make 6 figures, and you're going to buy your own fucking pants, and you're going to buy your own fucking shirt, and you're going to buy your own fucking food. I was like, how do we feel about that? And he's like, and all he could say was, amen.
They were programming them.
Ooh, they got him programmed real good. And I was like,
before.
But I was like, but come back, man. I'm like, because that's why we're here.
Well, that's why we have to do it, right? Yeah, that's why we have to do it.
Because we were given that
100%
opportunity.
Yeah, we go back and pay school lunches off. So I pay all the Metro Atlanta school lunches off.
I like that.
Yeah, so we paid $60,000 in January to pay one whole district off.
That's cool.
It's important to us. We paid over 100 school lunches off now. But I believe you got to get back. Yeah, we build, beds for, kids that sleep on the floor, and stuff like that. I mean, but it's this constant. I mean, you got to give it to keep its recovery, bud. You got to keep it. So if you lose sight of that, I promise you'll fall off of the climb you're on.
You will. You absolutely will.
It's universal energy. That's what I've made a lot of money. I did very well, and like I said, the only thing I focus on, no more tangible assets for me. I got a bunch of nice shit, cool cars, But I'm done with that, and I'm just want to invest in my mental health and my physical health,
Yes.
Yeah, I'm done with I had fun buying stuff and everything. It's cool. I got a Lamborghini. I got some cool shit.
Yeah.
But I'm done with that, and like I said, I'm done with it because I got it, right?
Because you got it,
Right.
It's easy to say you're done with it once you fucking got one parked in the driveway.
Right. I was about to say,
I don't need that shit.
I'm about to look like a real dick on here. So I have everything I want, and I want to focus on,
people.
My people, my universal energy, what I'm putting out here, so it keeps returning and keep cancer away and keep stuff like that. I'm a hypochondriac, bro.
Are you?
Yeah, I just want to do like good shit to keep. I just want to keep my health. I'm 46, and I race mountain bikes, and that's my passion, and I don't want that to be taken away from me.
Yeah, that's a pretty physical.
Yeah, I do the long distance marathon.
Oh, really?
Bike races. Yeah. So I did a 50-mile race last weekend. The weekend before that, I did a 30-mile race. Jesus. And the weekend before that, I did a 50-mile race.
Wow, where at?
In Georgia.
Wow.
Well, South Carolina. Last weekend was South Carolina. The week before that was Georgia, and the week before that was Georgia too.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
so I do
impressive.
A gravel grind. Yeah, so I like the long distance stuff, 3 hours and above.
How long can you do that for, like age-wise?
No, there's guys that are 60 kicking my ass.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I love it, dude. That's why I love it, dude. Yeah, we're out there talking shit.
I pick some low-impact shit, right? Like I golf and I scuba dive.
Yeah, it's low impact. It's cross-country. I mean, it's flowy. You can bust your ass. But, But it's pretty chill. I do the gravel racing is a little sketchy, right? Because it's like a road bike with knobby tires.
Yeah.
And you're just racing down gravel roads for 50 miles. And they'll get a little sketchy on the downhill, but that's what makes it fun.
That's what makes it fun.
It's got to be a little sketchy. Right?
Yeah.
You got to push it. There'll be like, sometimes you'll climb like 45 minutes, and then you'll descend, 5, right? But during the race. So it's fun, dude, because, you see other people breaking, right?
Yeah.
And you know already what you're like, dude, I'm not going to break. One of those clubs.
I'm going to keep going.
I'm going to keep going. And you're like, dude, that dude over there's hurting, dude. I'm just going to go a little bit by him, right? It's a little mental health sick shit. But, I mean, that's why people do long distance stuff.
Yeah. And not to jump back real quick, but I just had a thought in my head. When you started working with like these PE companies and exploring and all that kind of stuff, were you worried that your background was going to fuck it up?
Yeah, so one of them passed on me.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was a hard conversation.
Was it?
Well, they called my business partner and like, hey, we're good with y'all two, but Raymond, we're not gonna gamble on him. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, that's fine. Another one stepped in and paid me a lot more money.
Yeah.
And every day, dude. And that was the thing that got me, dude. So at 4:30 in the morning, I'm like, hey, dude, I got to beat the other platform. Now my friends are on that other platform, and I love them.
But fuck them. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna make them regret passing on me.
Yeah.
Respectfully so, right? But that's what I say. Yeah, somebody passed on me. That's all I needed to hear.
But that's the kind of guy you know what I mean? Like that's who you are,
I love
right?
that, right? I needed that.
You needed that.
Yeah, I needed that. That's stage 2.
Yep.
Right. So let's revamp, right?
Yeah.
So so they passed on me, and I'm like, dude, now I'm going to $1 billion. So it's a race to $1 billion now.
I love that.
Yeah. So
I
can't wait. We're a quarter way there.
And I think that's a lesson, right, for anybody watching, listening, is like, just because you get fucking shit on,
right,
with anything in life, right? You have two choices. You can fucking take it as a loss and boo-hoo and cry in the fucking corner about it, or you can be like, now what the fuck am I going to do?
Right. Well, at the end of the day, right, it burned for a second. I was like, shit, y'all take the deal and just give me like $1 million or something, and I'll sell roofs for y'all. I was like, dude, do whatever you got to do and get your money, Right. And they're like, no, we're not doing that. So I was like, cool, and
that's good partners.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Because there's a lot of money, right? We sold for a lot. It wasn't a little bit.
So you have 2 other partners?
I have 2 other partners.
Let me ask about that, because partners scare the ever-living fuck out of me.
I know, I hear people say that.
But you've had a great experience.
I mean, I couldn't do it. When we were building 65 roofs a week, I can't do that by myself.
No, but you can with employees.
Yeah, but they don't care the same way.
They don't care the same way, you're right.
Even all my guys, they're 1050-50 and they're 1099, they're their own entities.
Yeah.
So I'm chopping millions with them. So they're each individually their own company, and we treat it the same,
Yeah.
So they're all my partners, and I got 2 main partners. I just provide a platform for my other partners, the 1099s, to make a good living. I provide a great brand. I bankroll their projects. I build them and I warranty them. Right. And they're their own entities.
Yeah.
And I treat them the same way. Nobody ever on Facebook in public. I'll correct somebody I don't even know. Nobody works for me. They work with me.
Yeah.
And that's even my people in the office.
Yeah. I love that. That's always scared me. And I think that to your point though, it's probably limited.
Yeah,
my
it's not
growth
for everybody,
but it's probably limited my growth a little bit as well.
Well, maybe. I mean, you're wearing all the hats, right? So I got Lance does production, Todd runs the office, and I run the sales team. Yeah. I mean, it works great as long as everybody stays in their lane.
Right.
Right. And I'm probably the hardest one to deal with out of the 3. I promise.
You think so?
I know so.
Okay.
Yeah. I love both of them. And I promise.
Would they both say that?
I'm sure they would.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure they would. I'm very outspoken. I'm very passionate. But, I'm very protective.
But with good intention.
Well, the sales team brings the checks in the office, so I'm very defensive of them,
Sure.
Just like Lance, he takes up for the crews a little bit. And, Todd's kind of in the middle ground. He helps me run the systems and processes. I'll make a system and process it, and then I'll kind of run it by him, and he's in the office, so he'll kind of implement it, and then we'll kind of tweak it. And that's why we've been on scale so much.
That's nice.
And then Lance can build as many roofs as, he always says, try to put me on tilt. I was like, I think I put him on tilt like twice.
Really?
And hit him, 70 to build in a week. But we've been building that many roofs for years and years and years.
That's awesome.
So we got it pretty dialed in. Now, has there been? Yeah, we've had fist fights in the offices. You know what I mean? We're not as well polished as most of these companies.
Right.
But our profit margins are super high. Yeah. And all my guys are kind of like lone wolves. So I got like 20 people that sell every, $2 million, $1 million, $3 million.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, you've got it. You've clearly got it figured out. You've got that figured out, and you're figuring out, or I know that most guys like us are never going to say they've got anything figured out. We're constantly figuring it out, and it's on a journey. I just didn't want to imply that you didn't, you know.
Yeah. No, we grow every day, right?
Yeah, but but you're on that path, and you're on that trajectory that all of us are searching for. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think, and you know, and you mentioned it earlier because you asked me because you thought that I was part of a different group or whatever.
Yeah, we freestyled this for real, right?
Yeah.
We walked up, hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah, this is what I do, man.
Yeah,
like this
awesome.
I fucking love this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I have no fucking agenda ever.
Yeah,
I asked
cool.
like one question. The one question I always ask people, or I ask around before, I was like, do we think he was a problem at one time? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, my kind of guy. Now I know he can talk.
Yeah.
Right?
It's definitely a problem.
I feel bad because like it'll air later, but like I was at another conference and I interviewed a couple of people, and I don't have less boring conversations than with people that have no fucking past.
Right.
And they're like, well, I've had struggles, and it was like, motherfucker, your struggle was you know, you didn't get your filet that night, you had to get a sirloin or whatever the fuck, right? And like, it's such a hard conversation to pull out of people because like, if you haven't like either went to jail, flirted with jail, been in a cop car, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't find you very interesting,
right?
Because we're not the same, bro. Like,
and that's what somebody was like, man, what did you think? But you know, I got out. You know, I've been full transparency. You know, to do the 149, I went 3 times. Right, my longest stint was 72 months. My first time was for a fist fight. My second time was for RICO Act. Third time was what I just explained. And like I said, I don't want to glorify poor behavior.
No.
But, you know, I came home with $43, and my wife was asking me, well, you know, how did that feel? But I never thought wasn't going to make it, though. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
I came home the other 2 times, I made hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
You know what I mean? Both other times.
Right.
I never laid in there and was like, hey, man, I never thought that.
Right.
Yeah, I knew I was going to make it.
So so earlier I was talking, you know, Doug Quinn.
I
with
think so.
APA.
Yeah.
So Doug and I were talking, and he made a comment that really resonated with me, and you just kind of reiterated it, was even during all that shit and even during all the dark time, you always have this, and not everybody does, right? And I think this is what separates certain people.
Right.
But even in the midst of all of that, you have this moment where you're like, I realize what I'm doing, I realize the shit that I'm in, and I realize how bad it may or may or not be.
Right.
But I know I'm meant for more.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck it is, and I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know that I am. Right? And I think that is the kind of the separator, and that eventually you'll hopefully have that awakening, whatever it is, that is the catalyst, whether it's having a kid or it's, you know, this or it's that, or, you know, everybody's got a different story. But at some point you have to make a decision.
Right.
At some point you have to make a choice.
Yeah, mine was when I had my kids. So
exactly.
My kid's 12 years old, and I've been sober going on 12 years.
Exactly. Yeah. And maybe in the beginning you did it for your kid. Right. Boy, girl.
Boy.
Name?
Noah.
And maybe in the beginning you did it for them. Right. But at some point you stopped and you started doing it for you.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's where everybody has to get to. Nobody's going to get sober. Nobody's going to get clean. Nobody's going to stop doing whatever bad activity that it is.
I know the day it happened. Yeah, no, I know. I was in prison. It was Father's Day. I got served with adoption papers that my son's been adopted.
Whoa. Get the fuck out.
I swear
How old was he?
2.
What'd you do?
I was like, fuck, dude. So I wrote the judge, right? I said, hey, you got to get me in court because I don't think you know the whole story, right? So she sent for me, the toughest family judge in that county, whatever. And I got up there, and they bring me in the shackles and shit. And I was like, hey, dude, so here's the story. She got pregnant while I was out on bond, right? I've changed my life, right? So you got to give me one opportunity.
Yeah.
Because I already had gotten in trouble. Then she got pregnant. Then I'm serving my sentence now. Y'all just served me. That's not fair. I mean, it's fair because I'm a fucking idiot, right? But look, you give me one shot. I said, give me one shot. And she did. So when I got home, you know, I had a guardian ad litem, right? You know, I mean, fucking, you know, I'm not fit to be around my kid, all that shit. And, dude, that's why I did all those weird-ass jobs, because I just had to pay $300 to see my son every 2 weeks, right? I had to pay my lawyer fees. So every week I'd usually clear about $80 to live off of, you know, after paying my house and shit. So, yeah, dude, I was riding the fucking bus to see my kid. Like, they were trying to make me fail
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it was.
Right.
I was like, hell.
No.
And now I have a great relationship with his stepdad and his mother. Right.
Now.
Now. Yeah. Not then.
Not then.
But they drove me to success. So that was my carrot, right? I was like, oh, dude.
But that probably wasn't their intention then.
No, it wasn't that. They were trying to break me.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, I remember I was walking in the rain after they picked him up from Showbuzz, and I'm just walking in the rain to the bus stop. You see what I'm saying? They're just driving by, waving at me with my kid in the back. I'm just sopping ass fucking wet.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude.
But that's the shit that drives you.
Right. I was like, fuck, now I'll pick him up in a Lamborghini.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then you wave.
And then I wave. Me and the stepdad, we're cool as hell. We text. Yeah. If you're going to be around my kid, we're going to co-parent.
Was he the one that was trying to adopt him?
Yeah. And he didn't know, right? He's listening to her, right? To be fair to him, right? He was listening to her, and I probably wasn't the best kid's father. Promise you that, right? And that's fair, too, for her, right? And, it is what it is. But she was along the path, too, right? So we're all guilty of a little bit of stuff. And it's not like she didn't know I was a drug dealer, right? When she had the kid with me. But, we all grew from that. We all co-parent. I have a beautiful wife, too, that my son's I have a smoking, for as ugly as I am, roofers that do good always have good-looking wives, right?
Ain't that the shit?
Ain't that wild?
Yeah.
So I have a beautiful Russian wife that's not on social media or anything. I post her in my pictures. Works out twice a day. Came in the relationship with 7 figures. Takes care of, our multiple homes and stuff now. Has a full-time job and carrying cars to get services and stuff. And, phenomenal. And we all co-parent together.
Where do you meet a successful 7-figure, beautiful Russian wife?
At the fucking racetrack gas station.
Get the fuck
Swear to
out
God,
of
dude,
here.
nobody believes it, dude. I'd have to get her on the call with you, dude. But she hollered at me, dude, when I was going. It's the first time she's ever did it. She was married to one man for 24 years, cheated on her. Russian Pentecostal, kept her head covered up for 38 years.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I know, dude. You're like, this motherfucker over here is crazy. That's probably what you're saying. But yeah, dude. Met her. Went out with her the next night, and we've been together ever since.
Wow. How long's that been?
A little over 3 years.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And relationship with your son, I assume, is amazing.
Amazing, yeah. Yeah, I am the discipline. Not spanking, but I'm saying I am the one that say, hey, you got to do better. If we drive to the soccer tournament, you're gonna try, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna I don't want to go more than you. I'm hard on them, right? But not hard on, but I think I'm trying to correct society with my child one at a time.
It's called accountability.
Accountability. And he goes to private school. He's very successful in jiu-jitsu and boxing. So he's been boxing about 4 years and jiu-jitsu for 6.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, so he's starting to do tournaments and stuff like that now.
Really?
And he got beat pretty bad at one. I said, hey man, you got to put the work in, bro.
Right.
You see what that kid has handled you. So we have a great relationship. I was playing my kids never even cried. I've had him 12, every other weekend or every other week in the summer for 12 years. He's cried 3 times, man. He don't whine. He don't do nothing. I've been treating him like he's 21 in the passenger seat.
Isn't it amazing what a kid can do to change you as a human?
100%.
And I had a daughter.
Oh yeah, I'm proud I have a daughter. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest. I've said this before, so it's not a secret. But when I found out that we were having a daughter, I yelled at the person and I was like, check again.
Just to make sure.
Check again.
Yeah.
Check again.
Yeah.
But now that I have her, the best thing that's ever happened to me, because it softened me a little bit too, right?
Yeah.
And it made me who I am now today. I love my wife.
Right.
But the unconditional love that comes from a daughter and to a daughter is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
right
100%.
Now I'm going to be flip-flopping, right? Little boys are kind of a pain in the ass. Little girls are amazing, but then the little boy grows up and they're a fucking riot. Mine's going to be an asshole for 5 or 6 years, right? She's going to motherfuck me all the time, which is really going to hurt, and I'm probably going to cry myself to sleep at night, to be completely honest. But the change that it made in my life, and I'm assuming that it was the same for you, right? It makes you a different version of who you used to be.
100%. Yeah, I'm starting to see him in me now. He goes to private school. He's been going to private school since day one, right? I provide the best for him that I can. My child support's like NFL player child support, right? It's crazy, right? And I'm transparent about that with her. I'm not trying to I'm not a dirtbag. But he goes to private school, and now there's some bullying going on with him, and they don't realize that he's been boxing 4 years.
Oh, shit.
And so what's been going on now, he's been getting bullied, but he's been destroying the kids, just like destroying them. So they'll suspend them for a week, but they'll still suspend him for 3 days because he's making them pay. He's dyslexic like me, so they make fun of him about his reading.
Really?
And they don't and they don't realize, dude, so he's destroying 2 of them at a time, in there. He's so yes sir, no sir. He won't talk while we're talking.
And he doesn't instigate it, nothing.
No, they were throwing wet toilet paper on him like 2 weeks ago, and he destroyed it.
I've never understood that, from a school aspect. I understand that people have to have consequences, but what do they expect the fucking kid?
That's what I told him.
What do they expect them to do?
I said, hey, listen, you always defend yourself if somebody assaults you, but you need to be smarter about it. I said, you keep getting caught. I said, I don't condone poor behavior, but the problem we're having here is you're doing it at the wrong times.
Yeah.
So I said, I don't condone the behavior, but, he's hurting the kid. I mean, he's just doing it, he's just doing what he's been doing his whole life.
Trained to do.
Yeah, and he's not doing it with malice. He'll go turn, he doesn't deny it.
Right.
But then, although the kids are like, well, they're throwing wet toilet paper all over him in the bathroom stall. So what do you expect them to do?
Right.
Right.
Because we had to have the conversation.
We got to,
because my daughter was starting to get bullied a little bit, in kindergarten, first grade or whatever, and we had to start teaching her to stand up for herself.
Right.
And I was like, we sat her down and we said, hey, look, if somebody did what they did to you, to your dad, what do you think dad would do?
Right.
And she's like, oh, shit, I can't do that. And I'm like, no, yeah, you can.
Right.
I go, here's why. Because if somebody's fucking with you, you are allowed to stand up for yourself no matter what, and I will walk right into that fucking school, and I'll pull you out of it. I don't care. You're not going to be punished. You're not going to be in trouble. But, that's not okay. You never start it.
Right, never.
Ever.
Oh, no.
Ever.
Yeah, never.
Because then I'll kick your ass.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you fucking stand up for yourself every single time, my wife and I are so proud of her now. She's in 3rd grade. And now she has friends come to her and say, oh, that person was messing. And she's like, you need to go over there and you need to stand up for yourself.
Right,
I'm like,
100%.
oh, my God, we did it.
Yeah. I mean, they do is what they see. Yeah. They do what they see, not what you tell them.
Yep.
So that's what I was saying. My son's never seen me drink. He's never seen me. All he knows is racing, roofing, and being productive.
Love that.
So I love that. Right. There's no arguing in front of him. There's no nothing that, and I'm very, I live around him with intention because I want to get him every other weekend so I can. Right. And then, I'm talking business on the phone. So I'm on the phone a lot with him. I have a big company, and he listens and he asks me questions. So I was like, dude, I feel so happy. He's asking me questions.
That's
he's
awesome,
like, hey,
man.
So you told him this, so because he does this with the company, or you told him this because that was the right thing to do, Dad, or his work ethic. Yeah, so
Love
dude,
that.
yeah,
love that.
Yeah, so he's like my trophy.
That's an amazing feeling, and I know that's an amazing feeling, and I can see it in your face.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? How proud.
Yeah.
You are, and that's awesome. So the way that we always kind of wrap up these episodes is I always give it back to the guest to kind of land the plane at the end, and here's why. Because generally somebody's coming onto a show and they're like, man, I hope I at least get to talk about this. Or we dug into something that was really cool and maybe I didn't let it go as long as it needed to. Or there's just something that you want to make sure that myself or the audience hears. But I always want to give you the last couple of minutes to to wrap that up.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, this is probably maybe the best podcast that we vibe pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I mean, just show up every day, work hard, don't worry about where, your past. Show up. Somebody will give you, don't give up. Always keep thriving. Somebody will give you that second chance. And when you get that second chance, do not drop the ball. Yeah. Because you're not going to get another one.
You ain't going to get it.
Especially if you're in your 30s.
Right.
Yeah, if you get a slot, don't think the grass is green. If somebody's giving you an opportunity to make 6 figures or more,
take it.
And stick with that person.
Yeah.
Don't keep rolling the damn gamblet when you're past 33, 34 years old.
Right.
Yeah, quit trying to reinvent the wheel.
That's really good fucking advice.
Yeah, I've seen it so much. And that's why I tell guys, I've had to let go of some of my top guys, right? That are selling $2 or $3 million a year.
Well, you don't let them go; they just stop engaging with you.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, I choose not to use their services.
There you go. Okay.
So let's do that. We're in Texas. So we definitely
yeah.
So I just say, hey, don't want to do your installs no more. Choose not to use your services. And like, what are you going to do without me? I said, well, shit. I guess I'll do $38 million with you. Or I'll do 36 without you. I'm not going to sell my house, but
yeah, I'll be okay.
I'll be okay. So you're not hurting me, right? So people that give you second chances. If you already got a second chance and you're in a really tight spot and you want to keep rolling the dice because the grass is green on the other side, I promise you it's going to catch up with you.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I love that,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Hey, thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, sir.
I'm really glad that like we got to sit down and
Yes,
have a
sir.
conversation. One of the reasons I started this was to literally be able to sit down and not just have the, hey, how you doing? How's your wife? Nice to meet you. Fuck off and never talk to the person again.
Right.
I like to be able to like have connection. We don't do any of these interviews on Zoom. I don't do any
Gotcha.
virtual.
Yeah.
Everything is in person.
Right.
Because like I want to have that energy that is exchanged, and this was a great energy.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Dude. We just kept this flowed with it, right? Like a freestyle rap.
Yes, I mean, and those who know me, know how my freestyle rap game is. Awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate you being here and doing this, and I hope that we take this opportunity and continue to stay in touch.
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
Not that there's fuck all I can do for you, but
right. I mean,
but like I when I meet good people, like the purpose of my life now is to make sure that I'm just continuing to surround myself with other good people, and hopefully I can be one of those good people for somebody else as well to be able to spend time with.
100%.
And just become better.
We got to give a shout out to Josie Parks, right?
Yes, sir.
He did this with this intention. He's the reason for this energy, right?
100%.
Yeah, so we definitely got to shout him out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Josie, love you. Hopefully you're going to come on here a little bit later and we'll have a conversation. And Raymond, thank you again for being here. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, remember, no fucking sponsors here at Be Authentic or Get the Fuck Out. I'm broke as a motherfucker, but Zyn for all your nicotine needs. We're going to try and get Zyn as a fucking sponsor. So Zyn, it's nicotine. It's fucking amazing for you. It's good for you. I think it actually it makes you grow, like your dick bigger. What else? No sponsors, but Cult Culture Movement. Please check out CCM. We do monthly group calls every month. Get with a group of men to up-level, be better. We're going on a retreat next month. We're going to Grand Cayman, going scuba diving for a week. If that's something that you're interested in, please reach out so we can grow together. And the way that we end every episode, remember everybody, be authentic or get the fuck out.
Be authentic. Get the fuck out if you can't be authentic. Get the fuck out if you can't be authentic. Yeah. Swipe.